As you all know, it's Thursday. We're going to do this PayDirt thing. You only see one person here this time. That's right. PayDirt is on the recruiting trail. Not what you think. He's not on a recruiting trail from the University of Michigan. No, he's not doing that type of boosting. He's actually raising money so he can get enough funds up so he can buy out Zach Taylor's final year of his contract. That's what he told me. So while I'm here by myself, as you know, it's playoff season. And you know how they do in baseball. It's a bullpen game. I'm calling in the strong right-hander out the pen. Tim Lyons, help me out here, guy.
Yeah, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to throw some heat. I'm ready for this. Welcome. Hey, thank you for having me, buddy. Thank you for having me.
Man, hey, when PayDirt told me he had some business to handle, I said there's only one guy I can have with me to help me do this.
That's right.
Only one
That's
guy.
Right. Yep. You called in the short Mexican with the strong arm. Here we go.
LTO. Let's go. So as we all know, there's a big game on Monday. A big game. Those guys in Miami, at the University of Miami, hosting, even though they're the underdog. They've got Indiana in a university of it. I'm sorry, I was coming to a different school. So, Tim, Notre Dame didn't make the playoffs this year. Miami, it was a large thing between them and Miami. How do you think? Well, first question. One, was it the right call to have Miami in that spot instead of Notre Dame? Now, considering the fact that Miami is now in the championship game.
Actually, I wasn't against Miami being in there. It was the Alabama side that I was against going in there, and then the whole Tulane and James Madison University of Holy Mother Mary of Teresa University in there. That's what I was really against. Other than that, Miami beat us. They deserve to be in there. Texas A&M beat us, and they won their division anyways, I believe. So, they belonged. They belonged in there. I'm happy to see that, IU is really opening up my eyes because I was like, man, IU's pretenders. That's how I felt about it. IU's made me eat crow. I'll tell you right now. IU has made me eat crow. Miami's defense, they bullied OSU, and then they handled business against Ole Miss as well. So, I'm not going to say they made the right call, but the right outcome came into the college football national championship.
It's hard to disagree with you there. Miami, they started the season, a lot of conversation about them being the number one team in the nation. I think they got to be as high as number 3.
Number 4. Yeah, I think 3 or 4.
And Indiana's they've been a dog all year long. And I've been saying they're the best team in the nation for the last, I think since week 7. I was convinced, like, you know what? That's the team right there. So I'm happy. I'm happy that we got 2 actual teams that I think should be in this conversation. Not none of the Cinderellas and nothing like that. I wanted to see 2 of the dogs battling it out. And this is going to be a good game. You got that big, beefy defensive line for Miami versus an Indiana team that's very, I guess, senior. I guess that's a good word, senior. They've got grown man strength because a lot of these guys are upperclassmen. And they're led by that spunky Heisman, Matt Mendoza. Well, Matt's not his first name. I'm sorry. But
Mendoza. I forget. What the hell's his first name?
Well,
Fernando. No, is it Fernando Mendoza?
Yeah, you're right. So, but they've got their own stars over there on Miami Tide too. Malachi Tony, he's a dog. I think he's like 17 years old.
Yeah,
he's going, when he's all said and done with the University of Miami, he's going to be one of the best, and that's crazy to say because Miami's had a lot of best out of that school. But anyway, let's get to the game. The spread is 8.5 in Indiana's favor. Total 47.5. which way are you leaning with this as far as who will win this game, Indiana or Miami?
Yeah, you know, Indiana, they've done an amazing job this year. You know, they took their roster and they made them into this elite, national, battling for the national championship. But Miami can also bully some people. Now, if I was betting on this right here, I'd take Miami because of the points. I don't think it's going to be a 8-point game. I think Miami covers those. Excuse me. I don't think IU covers those points. I would take Miami if it was me, but I think Indiana comes out to be the winner. But I don't think they're going to win by 8.5 points.
I am with you there by a lot because I do not think Indiana's 8.5 points better than Miami. Now, granted, Indiana has annihilated everybody they've seen so far in the college football playoffs. Miami, right, on the other hand, they've won some squeakers. But 8.5, I gotta feel like that's I guess that's playing the result based on what you've seen so far. No disrespect to Indiana, they deserve to be the favorite. But it's disrespect for Miami for them to be such a prohibitive underdog. Style makes fights in football. You know what I mean? Just because you destroyed that team over there don't mean you do the same thing to me. So I'm with you there. I like Miami on the points to this. I think Miami they're just too talented. And Carson Beck, he's been here before versus some of the guys in Indiana who, I mean, they've got experience. They was in the playoffs last year. But 8.5, I like that. I like the juice on that one. I would actually bet it up a little bit more just to get a little more juice, just to like cover my butt a little bit. But we start this show with an agreement there. We're gonna take Miami first pick on the slip. Can I interest you in any of those props on this game? So
they got any props on Tony at all?
Let's find out. So I just passed up his touchdown prop. We'll go back to that in a second when the page loads up. So let's see. TD scores for the game. We've got let's see where Malachi Tony is sitting right here. DraftKings might be watching, so that's why they're slowing it down so they can fix some stuff up. So anytime TD score for Malachi Tony is plus 160. That's crazy. Plus 1,300 for his first time, for the first TD score of the game. I love the odds on that. It's a little risky for this, what we're doing right now, but I might put that in on something separate.
I think I would do. I think for me, I would do the anytime touchdown score for Tony. I don't know if it's going to be the first touchdown score. I don't. That's pretty steep, but I guess you can put a couple unit, put a unit or something on that. Just something, just a little something. Maybe you win. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he's so talented. I mean, he might be the one to break the seal. But at plus 1,300. Hey, that's my night right there. If he scores first, I'm like, hey, everything else after that is cake. But yeah, plus 160 for Malachi Tony getting a touchdown in this game. I like those. I mean, it's not the most juice in the world, but I like his odds to score in this game. Passing props for the two quarterbacks, Carson Beck and Mr. Mendoza. Oh, I did not know until this week. He's actually from Miami. I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yep.
I don't know who Miami's torn in this game. They got VU, and then they got a child of the area. So
that'd be a hard, thing. But unfortunately, all of Miami's not going to take over the whole stadium. They're going to split those tickets 50-50 between Indiana and Miami fans. So they're going to be a little bit of both in there.
Yeah, you know it. So the passing TDs props for both of these quarterbacks. Carson, they're both at two touchdowns. For Carson Beck is plus 169, and Fernando Mendoza, his is minus 175. Any of those interest you a little bit?
Um, I would say of course, I guess if you just want to put a bet on something, I would say Mendoza two plus touchdowns. You know,
Mhm.
but I don't know if you want to get a little. I think Carson Beck could end up throwing 2 touchdowns himself. I don't know. It's kind of. I guess you get better. You would get better odds with the Carson Beck, or no, I'm sorry, with the Mendoza touchdowns, right? Than the Carson Beck bet.
Well, yeah, you're right, but I think I feel more comfortable saying, if this was me, Carson Beck throwing two versus versus Mendoza. I mean, no disrespect for the Heisman Trophy winner, but I think Miami's going to have a lot more scoring in this game because based on everything we've seen from Indiana, Indiana can move the ball
Right.
if they want to. Indiana can
Right.
move the ball. They can score. And with the odds the way they are for Carson Beck, I think he can get two. I would be more comfortable putting that on there just because.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like a lot of those touchdowns last week that Mendoza got, he was already sitting in the red zone. He was already
Mhm.
sitting there. That defense got the turnovers in the red zone, and what did he throw, like 175 yards and 5 touchdowns last week, whatever the hell it was, 4 touchdowns.
It's something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's facing a little bit tougher defense. I could still see the 2+ touchdowns, but I think I'm agree with you too with the Carson Beck. I'd rather lean towards the Carson Beck 2+ touchdowns.
All right. I'm gonna hold that off just
Yeah.
until we talk NFL. So we might come back to that. So, all right. Do we have anything else from this college football? The last college football game of the year until August. But a savor it. Nope. All right. So let's go
Yeah.
ahead and take a quick break, real quick break. We're going to switch on over to NFL, and when we come back, we're going to talk divisional round of the playoffs. All right. Now that we're back, what game do you want to start with first from the NFL there? Take it there, Tim.
I'd probably say that Saturday night game that Saturday game, the Seahawks and the 49ers. That's what I would say. I don't know. But I might be a little bit biased because I'm up here in Seattle myself. So
So you've got excellent insight. That's what I'm talking about. San Francisco 49ers flying up to Seattle and
mhm.
not for Starbucks. They are flying up there to play this football game. They are a touchdown dog. Total 45 and a half. So first things first with this game. Let's talk about the players involved. You got CMC and Brock Purdy on one side, and you
Mhm.
got Sam Darnold and JSN,
Kenneth
Kenneth
Walker,
Walker,
the whole
Zach
defense.
Charbonnet, that whole defense. You're right. Um, it's a lot of names on the Seattle side versus San Francisco because all the names in San Francisco they're in the tent
Yeah,
permanently.
yeah, and have they said anything about Fred Warner possibly returning for this game, or because they said that he was pushing, trying to come back for the playoffs, but I haven't seen anything about him playing or not.
Yeah, I mean, you know how these athletes are. They think they're more healthy than what they actually are.
That's true.
I would not expect Warner back. Now, I have not heard that he was cleared or activated off the IR or anything like that. But at this point, this is Thursday. He would need to be activated by at least midday Friday for him to be eligible to play.
Yeah,
So,
so he did practice. He returned to practice today.
mhm.
He's eyeing an actual potential comeback versus the Seahawks. There, he has not been ruled out yet against the Seahawks.
Keep an eye on that. Do you think he makes any type of difference?
He's coming back from that. That was a big injury that he's coming back from. He's gonna have that rust. He's gonna, there's been somebody else that's been the green dot on the field. But it is Fred Warner. Fred Warner's a hell of a linebacker. I don't. I'm not gonna say. I don't want to say no, because you have these players that are phenomenal athletes that come back, and next they're lighting the team up, the week that they return. I would say he's going to have at least some kind of impact, especially when it comes to the run game and possibly the pass rush. But you really don't know. You don't know how healthy is he? How actual healthy is he?
Facts.
Yeah.
And Fred Warner, he's, as you already gave him all his platitudes, he is an excellent quarterback, excellent linebacker, but he's a very good corner linebacker too. He would be immensely help. He would be a great help for them to be able to stop some of that stuff that they do in the middle. Now, saying all this, if he was able to come back, he's going to be on a pitch count.
Yep.
He will not be able to put 50, 60 snaps out there. He'll have to share it with who was the guy that they had spelling him? I'm blanking on his name. Was it Baker?
I don't know what his name is, to be honest with you.
Well, in any case, he'll be sharing the snaps with them. So I'm not going. If Fred Warner is able to play, they're a better team with them, but I don't think they're a good enough team to cause any type of disruption to where I think this game is going. I think this game is headed directly in Seattle's favor. They're a more healthy team, and San Francisco's defense, with Fred Warner or without Fred Warner, they're not where they want to be. I think Seattle's offense will have no difficulty moving that ball, especially at home. And as you said, pretty decent weather for this time of year.
Oh yeah, it's been in the 50s and no rain. That's the way it's supposed to be on Saturday as well. It's gonna be some nice weather. But like for me, I see it's a 7-point game. Like if I was to pick, of course I'm picking the Seahawks to win the game. I'm picking the Seahawks to win. But personally, I don't know if I would even bet on this game to be honest with you, because it's playoff football. They're divisional rivals as well. We've seen a lot of tight knit races throughout last weekend, besides that shitty ass Steelers Texans game. But we saw some tight races. What's that?
You like that game?
No, I felt that should have been on the radio, bro. That should have been on the radio, not on Monday Night Football. It should have just been on the radio. But anyways,
I agree. It should not have been on Monday Night Football.
Right. But I don't know if I would actually. I guess as a fan, I would bet the Seahawks to win and bet even with the points. I think they cover. I think they are going to cover the points because the last time the Seahawks played the 49ers, they shut the 49ers completely down. CMC was shut down. Brock Purdy was shut down. They were just running the ball, and I think they had, I forget how much time they had with the ball. I think it was I want to say 35, 40 minutes with the ball too. So, if the Seahawks can get that run game going and control the time of possession, the 49ers are going to be in some big trouble. So I guess I would say I would bet the Seahawks, cover and win the game.
We see the game the same way. I think that's I don't even want to say major reason. Kevin Patullo, offensive coordinator, well, let me say former offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, why he was fired. I mean, as soon as their season ended, if it didn't end in the Super Bowl, he was going to get fired because their offense has been sputtering all season long. Awful. As you stated, San Francisco 49ers, they have an obvious liability on their defense. They can't stop the run. Right. They have the Eagles have Saquon Barkley. Now I know you didn't have Lane Johnson, and the history would prove that without Lane Johnson, they are a worse team. I mean, the numbers all bear out. But if you don't at least try
didn't Saquon have a really good game before he got hurt. He was playing. He was running the ball down their throat until he got hurt.
And that's a part of the point. They have more than just Saquon. I mean, their ability to control the clock.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles' ability to control the clock extends beyond Saquon. They didn't do it, and that's exactly why San Francisco's here, because you let them stay on the field long enough to be able to beat you. Seattle's not going to play that game with you. As you always stated, Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, and all the other offensive weapons, they're not going to give you any type of opportunity for you to build up a lather with CMC and Brock Purdy and Juwan Jennings and whomever else. I can't see how Seattle doesn't grind this game, maul them, and pretty much move on to the next round. I don't want to say unscathed because it is a division game,
right?
But by the time this game is over, the final score is going to look like it was an easy game for them. I'm agreeing with you. They covering that win.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jackson Smith-Njoku's props here, though? They got him for any time plus 100. Basically, they're saying he's a lock to score.
I'd say yeah, because if you look at him the whole entire season, he had 100+ receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving. I think he had 10 or 11 touchdowns throughout the year. During that time, JSN, he was, even though he might have started the first half with 25, 30 yards, but that second half came along, JSN was getting the ball and he was scoring a touchdown. I like that bet, to be honest with you. I really do like that bet.
I do too. I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the slip. I don't think there's anything stopping JSN from scoring. Again, we talked about San Francisco's inability to stop anything from opposing offense. JSN, not too many people have stopped him at all this season. It won't be San Francisco. There's another one I wanted to look at real fast. These rushing props for the Seattle Seahawks and Christian McCaffrey, because Christian McCaffrey, he's still CMC. What do you think his total yards are going to be in this game? Better question. If I told you CMC, being that he's pretty much the only offensive weapon they have at this point,
right?
Over under 85 and a half yards.
He's going to have receiving and rushing yards.
They got his line at 110 for total rushing and receiving yards.
Oh, total yards?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to compare. I'm trying to see something real quick.
110. Being that he's the only real offensive threat, no disrespect to Juwan Jennings and the rest, but Jake Tonjes, Greg Kittle's understudy. 110, it might be a little steep if you ask me.
Yeah. So what I was looking at was the last meeting versus the Seahawks. Last meeting versus the Seahawks, he only had a total of 57 yards. That was receiving and rushing. So I'm going to say that's a little steep, and I would take the under if there was an under on that. But yeah, I don't know. I still feel the same way. Like that Seahawks defense, man. They're playing some good football over there, and I think they're going to hold him under that. I definitely think that, under 120.
All right, I kind of like that. So, what about Kenneth Walker? You think his line is what? Let's see where his line is at. 77.5. You like that over? Or you like that?
I like that over.
You do. Him and Charbonnet, I don't the way they use them is never the same going week to week.
Right.
It's very tricky with those two. They are the epitome of a hot hand rushing attack. Whoever's hot, they'll get the ball. So that one for me is a little bit more. sketchy.
Yeah, let's look to see what they did against the 49ers in Week 18. Hold on, give me 1 second. Kenneth Walker had 97 yards. Charbonnet had 74 yards and a touchdown. That was rushing. Receiving wise, Kenneth Walker had 36. Charbonnet had 23. So
it sounds like what you're telling me is that I can go ahead and put this combined rush yards for Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet at 125.
Oh, yes. That's what I would do. I didn't know that was. See, I don't ever, just so everybody, to let everybody know, I'm in Washington. I'm right outside Seattle, and we don't have DraftKings. We're not allowed to. If we want to make a bet, we have to go in the actual casino. So I'm like new to this whole DraftKings thing. And I'm jealous. I'm jealous, Pay. I'm jealous because I'd be betting that right now today.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. And it's good money on the two plus 148 just for them to get 125 yards combined. I think that's cake.
Yeah.
And this is only the first game of the NFL weekend. We've already got 3 bets out of this game. Let's save some of the juice for the next game. So elsewhere on Saturday, we have Buffalo Bills, Denver Broncos. The Broncos, well, actually, the Bills are actually favored in this game. We've got no. The line has moved. Wow.
Yeah, the line moved. Yeah.
It'll probably move some more before kickoff. So the Broncos are 1.5 point favorite at home, total 45.5. Josh Allen, is this a make or break season for him?
I think so. And I know everybody puts this thing on quarterbacks of, is it do or die for these quarterbacks? You got Josh Allen, and we won't even mention the other quarterbacks that didn't make it to the playoffs. But is it do or die for the Bills? And what if Brady leaves the Bills, and is this do or die? I guess my biggest question is are we going to get Clark Kent Josh Allen, or are we going to get Superman Josh Allen out there? My other question is they're going against the Denver Broncos, who have a pretty damn good defense, but their offense has been slacking. I don't care. I've been saying this on our NFL Pick'em show. Their defense has been the Denver Broncos offense has been they've been mid. They've been average. They're not putting up a lot of points. Bo Nix isn't putting up a lot of points. The run game's not doing the best. But that being said, if it was me, I'd be taking the under. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a 45 point, 45 plus point game. I think it's going to be under that. I just with that Broncos defense versus the Bills, and then the Broncos offense versus the Bills defense. I think we're going to see a repeat of, well, you know what? I'll take that back. I would take that back. You know what? I say it's going to probably be a 24-21 point game. So hell, that would be only 40. That would only be 45 points. So yeah, I'd still be taking the under. But that's me.
That's very close. Very close. That's a dangerous game. So dangerous. I'm gonna stay away from the total because I do think I am thinking the same way as you. The Broncos play a lot of close games. The Broncos offense, I'm not convinced about it. I like RJ Harvey, but he's not at that point in his career where he's a world beater. I've been saying it for the longest. I think Bo Nix is at his ceiling. I don't think what you see right now is what he's going to be for the rest of his career until he falls off. I don't think he's all that. I think he's okay. He's just an okay quarterback.
Bo Nix actually reminds me of Justin Herbert. He has his good games, and then he's mid. He's mid to awful the next. That's just how I feel about
it. That's it's interesting. Justin Herbert has fell off a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think we're both agreeing that we expect the Broncos to win this game, though, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm picking the Bills or the Broncos to win this game. It's just I think the Broncos have the better defense.
Mm-hmm.
The better quarterback, of course, is Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And they got James Cook as well, who's a good running back. I think, you know what? That being said, because you always look at who's the best player on the field. And that's Josh Allen. I don't care what anybody says when it comes to this game right now. I could also say PS2, Patrick Surtain is the best corner on that field against the Broncos or against the Bills as well. But yeah, I think, you know what, Pay, I'm right there with you. I'm taking the Bills over the Broncos.
The Bills over the Broncos?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You're going with that theory of best player wins, huh? Okay.
Yeah. That's what, because, well, yeah. What do you do? Like, what do you do in this circumstance? You're looking at a good defense versus Josh Allen and that offense and what he can do, and and James Cook, and then you got Bo Nix versus the Bills. I don't know, man. I don't, with the way, if Bo Nix has been playing lights out football for these last 6 weeks, it'd be a different conversation right now.
True.
It would be. It would honestly be a different conversation for me. But I would be, you know what? I'd be taking the Bills and the points. But this ain't my money.
I am more bullish on the Denver Broncos. I would expect them to win this game. But as I did say earlier, they've played a lot of close games with a lot of teams that are way more inferior than the Bills. So where I'm skittish at is, one, are they ready for prime time? And two, will the margin be 2 points? Because they'll mess around and win a game by 1 and really irritate the soul out of you. Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna just push away from the table from this game. It's just too close to call.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even like any of the prop names. Maybe you convince me of anytime touchdown for Josh Allen, but I don't know. What about you? You feel any type of way about James Cook? Anything for him?
I think you could probably get an anytime touchdown with James Cook, but I don't know. I don't know if it would even be worth it. I don't know. I kind of feel the same way you do. I would just kind of stay away from this game. Like for me, I'd be just staying away from this game. Yeah, you could do some prop bets, whatever. I think James Cook possibly, could get a touchdown. Josh Allen's going to score a touchdown, with his legs or with his arm, either or. So I guess what I would be leaning towards is I would say Josh Allen in a touchdown.
I think those are some safe pulls. Josh Allen to throw a touchdown. Yeah, I think that's where we can see. Let's see, 1 touchdown for Josh Allen is -410. Not even really good odds on that because I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Let's move to Sunday. Sunday, first game out the door. You got the Houston Texans, who you said their first game was boring. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the game. I think the Texans defense is stellar, and they proved it right there. There was 3 turnovers in that first half, and the Steelers only get 6 freaking points. That was awesome. It was nice to see because I'm a Bengals fan. I hate the Steelers, and to see what that Texans defense did to that Steelers offense, it was priceless. It was priceless.
I don't have any dog in the race in the AFC North. However, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have a blood feud with him, and it warmed my heart. And I hope if this is his last game in the NFL, his last pass being a pick 6. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a touchdown there, wasn't it?
I can die a happy man.
Right there with you, man. I feel the same way. When he came over, I was just like, oh man, freaking Aaron Rodgers, and I was telling all my friends, I was like, man, I hope the Texans sack the shit out of him, and he threw that pick six, and he never walked back on the field ever again.
How do you get bitch for Mason Crosby? What's his name? Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Good times. In this game, you've got my lights cut off.
No, got the
Houston Texans. Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. 3-point favorite for the Patriots at home. The total is 40.5. Now, we was talking about the 45.5 being kind of low for the previous game. This one, it's going to be a physical game if that's a total.
Yeah, you're going to have the Texans defense just playing shut. I think this is going to be the toughest defense that the Patriots have faced in the whole entire season. We can only hope that C.J. Stroud, he learned his lesson with his turnovers on Monday night. He's more secure with the ball. But then you got the Patriots, man. Vrabel's done magic with that team, and I know they beat the Bills. They just beat the Chargers on Sunday. Was it Sunday or Saturday? Whatever day it was. And they were, and the Chargers defense was pretty good. They've always been pretty good. But Drake May and the boys, Stevenson is running the hell out of that football right now. But they're meeting up with the Texans defense. That Texas like I said, Texas defense is dogs. So I don't know. That is you're looking at a 40.5 over under. So you're looking at it being a low scoring game, which I can see it. I can actually see it.
Me too. I can see this game being 17-10, something like that. That wouldn't shock me. Drake May, a lot of these Patriots first time into the playoffs. But Mike Vrabel, he's not new to this,
right?
So he should have these guys up.
Diggs has been around forever.
Yeah, yes, in more ways than one, not just on the football field. Yeah. So where I'm leading up with this game, I can kind of see an angle for that the Texans can outright win, not just cover. So I don't know. You got to pull me off the ledge there, because I'm about to pick an upset here.
I'm not. I don't know how I'm gonna. You want me to phone a friend or somebody to the freaking mental health suicide line or something, because I ain't gonna help you out on this one, bro. Because I'm leaning towards picking the Texans myself. I just that defense has got me so convinced that if they keep playing this type of defense, what do they say? Defenses win championships. Mm-hmm. And we could see the Texans in the Super Bowl.
It would not shock me at the very least. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Texans to just cover. I'm going to split the baby. I'm going to take the Texans to cover. Because I think, that's just where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at with it right now. I'm gonna look at these CJ Stroud props they got out here. So we got the line for, let me see their yardage, pass yards. Oh, that's combined. Where are their pass yards at? Well, anyway. Oh, pass yards over under. So the line for Drake May is 221, and the line for CJ Stroud is 210.5. I think that's fair for both of them. I don't really see any wiggle room in that, because I think we're in agreements here. I think the game is going to be close. I would trend this game to be under the 40 and a half, just like you said. So
Right.
220, the 220, the 210 for them, give or take. Maybe they hit it, maybe they don't. I'm not. I don't know. I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah,
But
I'd leave it alone.
the passing TD lines for both teams, for both quarterbacks, for 2 touchdowns, Drake May is at plus 119. For 2 touchdowns for CJ Stroud, is plus 153. It's good odds there for CJ. I think that hedges on what Nico Collins would do. If Nico Collins can play, I feel a little bit more better about them getting that 2 touchdowns because although Christian Kirk had a great game, I don't expect him to do that again. I don't expect him to have that type of output against at least the Texans, right?
Yeah.
I would expect Woody Marks to be their best offensive player outside of CJ Stroud come this game. And I'm not expecting a lot out of Woody.
Yeah, well, they leaned heavy on Woody during the Steelers game. And you know, they did give Chubb the ball here and there as well. Yeah, I agree. I you don't know if Nico's coming back or not. I don't think he's going to be back, to be honest with you. He's still in concussion protocol. He didn't play. He didn't practice today. I think I'm right there with you when it comes to those passing touchdowns for CJ Stroud without Nico on the field. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it.
How confident are you in the under?
I'm pretty damn confident. I think it's going to be a low scoring. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. But man, we've seen what the Patriots can do. We've seen what the Houston Texans can do defensively as well. They can put some defensive points on the board. We could still look at even though it might be a low game, we could still look at 24-20 game or something like that. So you're still going over the over or the over under. I don't know. I would probably bet the over, but I would stay. I don't know. But part of me would say I'd stay away from that because it could be an under, it could be definitely be under, like you said, 17-10 game. But then we could be looking at we could be looking at a 31-28 game. It all depends on who steps up and who performs better.
All right, you talked me out of that one.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to the last game of the weekend. LA Rams coming to Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Now you got to remember when you're betting this game. Remember when you're betting this game, Pay. You got to take that bias out of this. You're messing with your money. I'm gonna
try. I'm gonna try. Okay. No fingers crossed. I'm gonna try. Okay. The line is 3.5. The Chicago Bears are actually the home dog. Total 48.5 is actually still sitting high. The highest total that we've seen for the weekend. 52% of the money is with LA. The last time LA played the Bears in the playoffs was it 1984? I think. Is that correct? I don't know. Let me think about that.
I don't know either. Let me Google. Let me ask Google.
So here's why are you looking that up? I'm going to talk about the Bears in this Rams game real fast. I said on the previous show that this game is going to come down to 2 factors. 1, the weather in favor of Chicago. There's bear weather. And 2, the ability of the Rams to pressure the quarterback without having to send any additional help. They have one of the highest pressure rates in the NFL versus one of the lowest blitz rates in the NFL. They also don't load the box either. It's really just a straight up nickel defense for the most 3-4 nickel, whatever their base is. I'm not too certain on that. And one of those things helps the Bears. The Bears are a fantastic rushing team. The weather will probably play a factor in that as well. If the weather makes them want to run the ball a lot, the Rams are not going to stop them as far as trying to convince them not to. They're going to line up in their base set. They're going to bring anybody up, They're not going to load the box. You're going to have those same safeties that they prefer to have back there. And you say, if you want to run, try it. So to that point, this game can go either way. The Chicago Bears like to run, and the Rams invite you to do that.
Yep.
And to that point, it for me, it really depends on how comfortable the Rams can be in the inclement weather that's going to be on Chicago. Because today is 20 degrees. Come Sunday, it's going to be less than 10 at kickoff.
Yeah, and as we know, Stafford is an indoor guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's going to be cold.
Yeah, I think I forgot the actual stat but for his career as a professional quarterback in games underneath 40 degrees, I believe he's well under 500. Something like I think it's one of 9, something like that. If that's going to play a factor in this game, plus the fact that he has a sprained index finger on his throwing hand, Bears have a shot. I mean, the Bears have a shot in all the games that they play in because they're never out of it. You got to play a complete 59 minutes and 59 seconds to beat that team, and maybe even another second. So 3.5. I think they're just asking for you to put money on the Bears at plus 3.5, and you've got my attention. I'm putting the money on 3.5. Tim, what do you think about that?
I actually agree with you. I would definitely take the 3.5, the Bears 3.5. The way the Bears have been playing football these last couple of weeks, we're looking at 3-point games, 2-point games, 1-point games. Caleb Williams. I know you guys have been down like 3 quarters. And then that fourth quarter comes around and y'all just cardiac cats coming down there, just or cardiac bears in this case. Just pushing the ball down the field, scoring touchdowns, just making things go. And like as you know, Pay, I'm not a Caleb Williams supporter. He's from USC. And I've been against, and I'm just not a fan of him. But I've been picking y'all to win every week for the last probably 7 weeks. And yeah, you guys lost a couple games here and there, but these last couple of weeks with the with playoffs last week, I picked the Bears to win. So I think I'm right there with you. I'm taking the 3.5 points. I think this game, with it being cold, it's gonna be a 3-point game. Either or, which side, Rams, Bears, but they're definitely going to cover that. And I'm going to actually say it now. If you want to see my full breakdown, come on Friday to the NFL Pick'em show. But I'm going to pick the Bears, to win this game anyway. So,
hot damn. There are some other things with this game that's kind of interesting. So the Bears secondary has been beat up this season. Kyler Gordon, they talked about it ad nauseum in that game. Number 6, for those who don't know who Kyler Gordon is, they said the Packers are going to need to pick on him. This guy's having a rough game. Well, Kyler Gordon, he's a top 5 nickel in the league. But this season, he's had 3 separate soft tissue injuries. And in this past game, it was his first game back from his second IR stint. Puka Nacua, he lines up in the slot a lot. So you might see him and Kyler Gordon matched up quite often. And if he is lined up outside, you got Nashawn Wright, who's had a fantastic season, led the league in total takeaways, but he can get beat. Jalen Johnson, who is our best corner, and when he's playing his best, he's an all-pro corner. He's a top 5 corner in the league when he's not hurt, but he's also been hurt a lot this season. He had major core surgery after week 2. So, and he didn't come back until like week 10. So he's still trying to get back to his top self, which leaves the opportunity for Devontae and Puka Nacua to have some pretty big games. Devontae has played in Soldier Field a lot in his career. He's had big games in Soldier Field a lot in his career. I I would assume that that would not change this week. So receiving touchdowns. And while we're on the top topic, you had said, the Bears, they transformed into cardiac, whatever the hell, Bears, cats, whichever.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come down to the Rams putting up more points than the Bears can score in the fourth quarter.
Right.
The Bears have shown you that they score 3 times in the fourth quarter. So you're going to need to be up by more than 3. I don't think they could be up more by 3. So that's more to my explanation why I'm taking the Bears at plus 3.5. But back to these receivers. They've got Puka's receptions at, come on down. Over under on Puka's the catches is 7.5. They had Coastal Lovin at 4.5. Devontae at 4.5. Luther Burton at 2.5. Roma Dunze 2.5. Higbee 2.5. DJ Moore and Kobe Parkinson all with 2.5. I think those 2.5s, some of them are cake. I like Kobe Parkinson. Luther Burton. He's an electric player. 2.5. That's right at the line for me. Over the last month, Colson Loveland has become Caleb Williams' favorite receiver.
Yep.
First month, 6 weeks of the season, that was Roma Dunze. As you see now, his total is at 2.5. So he's more in the mix with Luther, DJ, and Cole Kmet and the rest of those guys. But Colston Loveland, that's the guy right now for the Bears. 4.5. I kind of like that. I think he's a cinch to get 5 catches. But Puka Nacua, he's the star. 7.5. I like that. I like 7.5 too. I think he goes over that.
I don't know, man. You got to remember, it's going to be cold, and you're in Chicago. What is Chicago called? The Windy City.
Very true.
It ain't going to be easy to be throwing dimes that whole game. That ball's going to get cold and hard. The wind, if that quarterback, like Tom Brady showed us on, what was that, Sunday Night Football, whatever the hell it was, of the way that the quarterbacks have to throw the ball when it's windy outside.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady was on to something. He knows a little something.
Yeah, you're right. Excellent breakdown from the GOAT.
Yeah, if they don't throw that football correctly, I don't know if we're going to be seeing 200+ yard games. It might come down to the run game because it's cold. When it's cold outside, what do teams lean on the most?
Got to lean on the run. Yeah.
They're leaning on the run. So I don't know. For me, I like these 2.5 ones. But when you're looking at like Puka Nacua with 7.5, over 7.5, that's getting up there a little. You're getting up. Maybe if the Rams are playing down and they're pushing the ball down the field, then I think you would see the 7.5. I think you'll see the 7.5 over to Puka. But with this weather, man, I don't know, man. I'd stay away from the receptions.
You make a good point. Also, what Tom Brady said in that little segment, the last part of your hand to lead the ball is that index finger. Matt Stafford got a sprain on that finger, and you saw the game changed after he got hurt. So
yeah,
we're gonna stay away from Puka in that number right there, just for this week. We're gonna stay away from Puka. In fact, I'm gonna stay away from all the reception part totals there, those props. I'm gonna go over to these Russian props, see what they got over there cooking. If DraftKings would answer my call. But I don't know.
No, don't think it's gonna work.
No, it's not working. All right, so won't work. But so let's talk about the bets we do have. If DraftKings would work for me, which it doesn't want to, but that's all right. That's all right. Technology has been a B today. But all right. So the first game we had on our slip was Indiana and Miami. We both took Miami plus 8.5. How confident you are with that?
I'm still pretty confident with that. I think it's it's going to be a different type of game. I know it's a home game for them. It's a home game
Mhm.
for them. I know they're not the home team, but they are the home team because they're in Miami. So I just don't see them getting beat by 8, by 8.5 plus points. I just don't see it.
I agree with you there. I'm gonna keep that on the slip because I'm for one, it's the juiciest one on our slip. So I'm gonna keep that there. As far as the other ones, we got 7 total bets on this slip. So it's an easy. This will be one of the easiest ones we've ever had to break down. PayDirt would be proud. Let me share that screen again. What just happened? Okay. So here is our total slip. Once again, I'm not getting a response. I think this is just Google. I think Google hates me today. Now I'm getting a spinny. But in any case, the other games we took the I'm blanking on the first game. We took Seattle. Yeah, we took Seahawks -7. Do you like that more or less than the Miami plus 8.5?
I think I do like the Seahawks one more, because we've seen what has happened in the past and what's been going on this whole season with the Seahawks and the 49ers. Like that Indiana or the IU versus Miami game. I still don't feel like they're gonna, but we have seen IU go out there and slaughter teams. So I guess I would lean towards the Seahawks and the 49ers more than the Miami and IU game. I think I lost Pay. You still there, Pay? He's either frozen or he's in La La Land. This is pretty awkward because this is his show. Pay, you still there, buddy? Uh-oh. I think I lost Pay. Uh-oh, I did. I lost Pay. So here we are. Guys, this is the PayDirt show. I'm not Pay and I'm not Dirt. So I'm just going to have to spitball here. He actually is not connected. Here he comes. He's back. I was like, damn, dog, you left me. I was like, you left me high and dry.
My Chrome crashed out the blue. How you like that for that?
That's why you're having problems with DraftKings.
Yeah. So now we're back. Let's I got the DraftKings pulled back up. So let's look at that real quick. Here's our slip. Our total slip here. We got Miami plus 8.5, Seattle Seahawks -7, Chicago Bears plus 3.5, Houston Texans plus 3, the under 111.5 for Christian McCaffrey on his total yards, and we have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet combined rushing yards of 120 plus 125. Jackson Smith Najigba anytime TD score. So we have 7 total picks on our slip. Now,
I would probably get rid of. You know what? I'm just gonna let you know. What I would probably get rid of is the JSN one.
Really?
Because we already know what the Seahawks like to do. They like to lean on the running backs. They like to run. And if they do throw the ball, it's going to be short little passes to the halfback. Slant passes to JSN or to Barner or I forget what the other tight end's name is. Aurora, I think that's what his name is. But I think the sure bet is going to be the combined Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet.
That's interesting because funny thing for DraftKings, they don't allow you to put that type of bet into a parlay. So,
gotcha.
That's the funny thing, and I knew it when we talked about it, but I do like that. I like that bet so good. I'm going to bet it. I'm betting that separately, but nice. for parlay specifically, that one can't be attached to it. So
Gotcha.
it sounds like you are a little bit skittish on JSN. So we're gonna have to replace that then.
Well, I don't know about replay. I still think he's going to get a touchdown. But if you want guarantee, but the thing is I believe that Charbonnet and that Kenneth Walker bet is more probable going to happen because they like to lean on the run. They like to run. You'll see JSN and you'll see Kenneth Walker in there. JSN will, or what did I say? JSN, Charbonnet, and Kenneth Walker. Sorry. I think JSN's got 10, 11 touchdowns. I think if JSN had, we'll say between 11 and 14 touchdowns, or I'd say almost 14 touchdowns, I think that would be more probable for me. But I don't know. It's up to you. It's your bet. It's your bet and slip. like how many do you guys usually keep?
6.
Oh, okay. And where are we at right now?
We're at 6.
Oh, okay. Well, then keep it.
Let's keep it then. So we got Miami plus 8.5. Seahawks. We got 3 picks out of the Seahawk San Francisco game. That includes Seahawks covering the 7, under 111.5 yards total for Christian McCaffrey, and Jackson Smith-Njigba anytime touchdown score. In addition to that, we've got the Bears and Texans covering as underdogs. That gives us a 6-pick parlay slip of total odds plus 3,794. Tim, I like it. I like it too. I don't think there's anything from that slip that I'm really shaky on. I think this is a decent one.
Yeah, I like it. I have my brother that texts me all the time. He's like, "Hey, who should I take? Who should I take?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't bet here, but this is who I would take. This is who I would take." And then he's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to take this team." Then he loses. I'm like, "Well, that was on you, buddy." So
that's funny, but I want to appreciate you jumping in. Then you had all the good stuff come out of the pen, man. You're as you said, you're the short. What did you call yourself? The short Mexican.
The short Mexican right. The short Mexican right-handed heater. That's what you were getting this whole time.
And that's how you win the World Series, right there. You got to have good bullpen work, strong power arms out the pen. Yes, Tim, sir. What any RTJ are running through the jungle tonight?
I don't know yet. I got to talk to Justin. Justin wants me to call him after this show, and then we'll see what's going to happen after that. But you guys can check us out on Friday on the NFL Pick'em Show. We're actually going to go over our picks from last week's wild card games, and then we're going to pick them live for this week's game. So, check us out. We'll be live at 6:30. As always on Fridays, so come check us out.
And before that show starts, Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel, we will have our divisional round preview between the Bears and the LA Rams. Check that out. That will be dropping to your feeds right before, about an hour or so before Justin and Tim usually go live at Running Through the Jungle. So thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you put those slips in. Get some money. We want everybody to get paid. 2026 is the year to get paid. So, once again, from everybody here at Running Through the Jungle and Frustrated Chicago, thanks for watching as we attempt to reach PayDirt.